What's up, guys? It's your man Chef from Off the Dome, back in for another video. Today we have a good one. Today we're going to be talking about, man, one of the most wasted opportunities in the whole industry. Really, I mean, she is literally, I think, could have been that Dua Lipa, BB Rexa, Ava Max, all those like stars who make good music, but like they're kind of just outside of vocal range. They don't have personality. I think Alessia Cara could have been that. Alessia Cara, if many of you guys don't remember who she is, of course, like many celebrities, she may have fallen off musically, but has plenty of social media followers. Very attractive young lady. Um, New prodigy, released some stuff and then hit well. Alessia Cara really blew up in 2014-15 with Here. It had a sample on it. And Here was a top 5 single in the United States, number one on pop singles. I think went if not number one, top 3 in the radio song. So she was off to a good start. One of the major things from the start that I knew this woman was going to be doing is that she was signed with Universal through Def Jam. That number one is a big no-no. You signed to Def Jam, goodbye. Career shelf is limited. Wrong deal. Signed to Sony, RCA Records, better. Def Jam, no. Now, if I'm wrong, let me know in the comment section, but I believe she signed to Def Jam. If she signed to RCA or one of those other labels that do a little better job, then, hey, let me know if I'm wrong. To be honest, I just remember seeing Def Jam with a couple of her singles. So, from the start, she had an album, I believe Know It All or Pink Room. It's something. But her debut album did pretty well. It slowly climbed the charts. It was gaining momentum. And then, of course, she had some other things happen. Wild Things was the other single off the album. And that one peaked at number 50 in America, a little higher in Canada, but still went platinum and had some radio play. So she's off to a good start. She did a remix of, she did a second version of Moana, How Far I Go, a little later on. Then we had Scarce You Beautiful, which was one of her bigger hits. This was number 8 on the charts, number 1 pop music, number 1 on pop radio, all that good stuff. Huge woman power anthem. Her career is going the right direction. They started off pushing her as an R&B star, then they slowly got her to pop radio. Now she's totally pop. So I think this right here is what kind of made Alessia Cara messed up. See, the time that Alessia Cara came out, we already tried the Lord experiment. The Lord experiment worked for about 2 years, and then Lord crashed and burned. Lord was kind of like the alternative rock, indie folk, I don't care about the establishment type singer. Alessia Cara came off the same way. She was the black version of it from Canada. She was kind of like, hey, I'm just free flowing. I love myself. I got an alternative R&B vibe. That was the messed up part. Plus, what also didn't help is that the rise of her, SZA, Jhené Aiko, Kalani, all those girls started to take over. Not only on top of the R&B female game, but they were starting to gain more traction. That was that kind of like trap slash kind of neo soul sound. She had a soul sound, but she was trying to do the pop and R&B thing, which at that point really wasn't a thing. The other bad part was that other pop stars in the industry were still way more popular, and they were pushing them as hard. They pushed her songs hard as well, but it was still a decent amount of stuff in a way. You still had other teen singers that she never would become like Justin Bieber, all that good stuff. They're the male category, but females, it's like, you see what I'm saying? It's like they didn't know what to promote her as. Whether, I know they didn't want to sex her or make her sex feminine, so she doesn't have that sex appeal. She was the quiet girl in the corner writing music, but like I said, we already had Lorde years later, and we had Billie Eilish now. And at the time, they was promoting Daya as well in 2015 and 16 too, when they thought Daya was going to be the next big thing. And then all these other indie chicks kind of come up and bound, Ruth B, Lost Boy, etc. So it's kind of like they was having all these girls that were similar, trying to push them at once. You had Kiara with the Gold Song. It's a lot of indie pop, R&B, vaguely, young women, mixed, white, that were all in the same space. So Alessia Cara was kind of lost in the shuffle, in my opinion. But then 2017 hit, boom. I want you to be alive. I want you to be alive. Logic hit up with that 1-800 song. She was featured on that. That was number 3 in pop songs, number 9 on the radio, number 1 in rap, I believe. Then we had Stay, number one of pop songs, number one on the radio. One of her biggest hits, I think her biggest hit was Zed. That was a huge hit, but I think the problem is that a lot of people knew who Zed was and not her. Because Zed, remember, had the middle of a year later, he had a song with Ariana Grande. He's one of the EDM producers with a big following, and he kind of drained the life out of her a little bit in the song. A lot of times with the EDM collaborations, it's more about the EDM artist than the actual singer sometimes, because the singers don't sound unique. And it was pop radio filter, so nobody said, oh, Alessia Cara, big star. It was like her song was just attached to another big song. 1-800 was more about Logic and Khalid. Khalid was an up-and-coming star, and Logic already had a huge fan base. So overall, she has a bunch of hits, just like BB Rexa. You know, and a lot of other women in the industry. Ava Max has 2 or 3 hits. Dua Lipa was like this for a while, till 2020. Dua Lipa was pretty much this. She had a couple of bubbling on the cusp hits, then she had New Rules, I Don't Give a F, and then she had One Kiss and a couple other stuff. She had a huge UK following, but not a huge US following. And still to this day, US following, really, I don't know how big her following is. I know they promote it as a big star in the US, but it just seems like, due to the album number stuff, I don't know. Her debut album sales weren't that great, but it got leaked, I get it. It's still here a couple weeks later, but it seems like radio inertia is really the reason why her stuff is propped up. That's a whole nother discussion. So let's say Cara, in all, the reason why I think she fell off is because, one, she's a radio artist. And being a radio artist in post-2010 world of music industry isn't a good thing. Maroon 5 a radio artist. Dua Lipa's a radio artist. Alessia Cara was. BB Rexa is. These guys aren't huge like stars seen in the past. Olivia Rodrigo is huge. She has a fan base that will buy her album. They have a fan base that will scream their stuff. BB Rexa has a couple of big songs they'll scream. While radio and stuff, she doesn't really have a hit. She doesn't have a fan base. Alessia Cara is also another person that was on the radio multiple times. They chose certain songs to be on the radio. They got big. But in actuality, how many people were actually listening to her? How many people actually listen to her albums? Her debut album looks like they were listening to it. If she tried to do a new style, the growing pains, and try to go into a different direction, it's like everybody left her. So anyway, let me know what you think about Alessia Cara. What do you think about her journey? I think, well, it's no question she's fallen off, but why do you think she's fallen off? I think because the Lord was too soon that they tried to put her in there, and she was also in the mix with other girls try to get in the same space at the same time. Let me know what you think. My name's Chef from Off the Dome. Make sure you comment below. Make sure you leave a like button. And just go ahead and click that. Go ahead and smack that subscribe, man. Have a good one.